This trip to the countryside will be good for you, Holmes. As your friend and your doctor, I really do recommend that you give yourself a complete change of scene. Fresh air, brisk walks, bird watching, chopping wood.
Sounds intolerable. Certainly it sounds delightful.
But you haven't yet told me who your friend is, the one we're going to visit.
He is a bee lover.
A bee lover? Do you mean that he keeps bees? That must be Mrs. Hudson, bringing the warm cloth that I requested.
There is someone to see you, Mr. Holmes.
I have no time. Send whoever it is away.
Yes, Holmes, I really think we ought to leave now.
Mycroft.
Sherlock.
Oh, Mr. Holmes? Perhaps you don't remember me. I'm Dr. Watson. We met at the Diogenes Club a few years ago. I documented our encounter in a short story I gave the title The Greek Interpreter.
He does remember you, Watson. My brother remembers everything, and that is why he is so valuable to the government.
We're about to depart for the train station.
I know.
You know?
Sherlock, I need your help. There are people who presently threaten both our country and the Crown itself. You must help us with those methods of yours.
Need help. Those are not words I would readily associate with you, Mycroft.
I wrote you a letter, but you did not reply. And this is not about politics. It's about people. People similar to those whom you pretend to defend in your petty detective affairs.
Everything is about politics with you, Mycroft. I'm not interested. Have some of your agents, your spies, or worse, undertake this job of yours. You are defending your people, and they have little to do with the people I choose to help, I can assure you.
That's the point. You think exactly as they do.
Who are they?
The Merry Men. He is talking about the Merry Men, a band of idealistic terrorists.
Sherlock, do please think about it. They are planning something diabolical. Your country needs you.
You need me, Mycroft, and you are not the country, although if your waistline expands very much further.
Mrs. Hudson, tea will not be necessary. Dr. Watson, the train conductor, Mr. Parker, is aware that you will be 7 minutes late. You are in the 4th car. The train will be waiting for you. Sherlock, enjoy your time in Staffordshire. And do, please, at least write to me on your return.
Might as well take that letter he took. But one. We just. Oh, echoes. Grotesque murder of the former Captain Peter Garrett, known in private as Black Peter, has been resolved. The evidence that Scotland Yard received from a trustworthy source was more than sufficient to conclude that the murder of Peter Garrett was Pablo Covenarto, I think. When our harpooners, law for justice cannot be awarded because they are dead of a natural causes, possibly from a mercy to give me to crime. Lies.
This is where I keep my post.
But that's it.
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
So, what am I doing? Do we go to the thing?
Watson, I'll hold a cab for us. We leave in 5 minutes for the station.
And here we are.
What a gloomy night. It was warmer inside the waiting hall.
Since the station master told us that the train is about to arrive, we should not have to wait very much longer.
Yes, at last.
Attention! The train is arriving at the station. Please stand well away from the platform edge.
I'll take your bags and your blasted archive suitcase. But, Holmes, the headlight. It's faded away.
Something is wrong. I can't hear any sound from the incoming train.
Excuse me, sir. Can you explain what has happened?
I don't know. It's as if the train vanished into thin air.
Holmes, say something.
Quick, fetch a lantern and let us take a look.
It's too dark. Only fog and rails, nothing else.
There is no use in stumbling around here at night. We will come back tomorrow. Well, here we are again at Evesham Station. We have a full day ahead. Let us be...
Oops. There we go. Ah, much better. Alright. The mystery is afoot. The missing train. A train cannot simply vanish out of thin air, so there must be a logical reason. After all the facts have been given, no matter how illogical, must be the truth. Something around those lines. I forget. Anyways.
First of all, let us examine the area where the train disappeared.
Alright, alright. Like, my first guess already is the fact that somebody probably used a hand train, made it look like the train was approaching with the lantern, then cut it out. The train never came to the area.
This is the place where we saw the train vanish last night.
A discarded item, possibly thrown from the train. Railway sleepers, nothing unusual.
Oh, okay.
The rails have not been touched. There's nothing unusual here. There are no tracks or footprints on the ground. There are no signs to indicate that the train ran off the track, nor are there any other traces. There is nothing whatsoever. There are no clues. But then, a negative result is also a result.
Oh, I see what you're getting at. No clues, and you're smiling.
Yes, Watson, I do smile on occasion. This mystery appears very promising. This investigation won't be simple. We shall require a map of the region.
Perhaps the station master could lend us one.
So that'd be it. I'm still calling it. Somebody used a hand train, lantern. There wasn't any noise of an oncoming train, only the lantern light, so I'm just calling it. It's going to be a hand train that somebody was using with a lantern. They cut it out, moved the hand train back, and since that's much faster to move than a steam train, they do that. Easy as pie. Vanished the train, no trace.
Good morning. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson.
Yes, I remember you. I'm Station Master Everett. You were here last night. So, you are Mr. Holmes, the great detective. Will you be investigating what happened?
I shall indeed.
It is extraordinary that an entire train could disappear like that. And to think of all the poor people inside it, the passengers, the driver.
Let us learn. What is the man about? What can we learn of the man? Fully grey hair. Alright, badge. Dirty cuffs. And a ring.
Could you please give us any details about the train?
Well, there was nothing so very special about it. At least not that I can recall. My memory's not what it used to be. However, if you need it, you can have the train composition report. It's inside my office.
I would be glad to have a detailed map of the local railway district.
But of course, please, take the one that's pinned inside the waiting hall.
See you later, my good man.
I'm still calling it, like, hand train, lantern. But the question is, what was inside the train that made it so worth to steal the entire thing? Was it something in the passengers? Something with the passenger or something? And I think this is the wrong room, but I'm going to explore anyways.
This part is probably from a locomotive.
Uh-huh. Thank you for stating the obvious.
An old locomotive bell. This place serves as a storage area for the station.
I don't believe I needed your expertise to believe that.
This part is probably from a locomotive.
Right, and that's it. Okay then. I don't understand why I had to look very closely to realize that's probably from a locomotive, but alright then. Anyway, ooh, this is quite nice. Is this a scale for the suitcases, probably. Where's that map you was talking about? Ah!
This map will be useful.
To Nottingham. This is Eve Station to London. So. Found more information about the honest train. Alright, so it was in his watch area that we could find a dossier. I think this is a luggage area, rating hall. Yeah, it's literally called warehouse. Why the hell? Why did I need Sherlock Holmes' expertise to realize that's for security? Anyway, I believe this is the place we're looking for. The blazers with that. That's claustrophobic.
A telegraph.
Mm-hmm. Anything relevant? There we go. Telegram. Most all stations. Mr. Robertson's is located at Bridgington Station.
A new telegram.
I think we should meet this Mr. Robinson.
Bridgington Station. Train composition. Ah, here we go. Locomotive, coal, first class car, postal wagon, special wagon. Ah. A special wagon ordered by Mr. Robinson, second class car.
Here is the train set.
There's a... Yeah, one Mr. Robinson. He ordered a special wagon. That must be what was stolen. Or the reason why an entire train would be needed to disappear. So... we need to head to Bridgelington. Alright, so Mr. Station Master Evesham. I mispronounced it without a doubt. This man is in his 60s and has been married for a long time. The fresh spots on his earth upon his sleeves reveal a passion for gardening, his badge. Why would he do that in his uniform? Badge of Honorable Station Master reveals he has a long-standing employee. All of this demonstrates his desire to live a quiet and stable life. I can reason with that. Now, let's go meet this Mr. Robson. Is there no other place we could go? We're already at Evesham. There must be some place. Just gotta talk to the station master. Special wagon, yep.
According to the train composition report, there was a special wagon. What does that entail?
That's a highly secure car, ordered by a private party. It is generally to carry something of value. Those wagons have iron walls, you know, without any windows. And they're fitted with a complex key lock.
That is important information. Do you know what was inside this particular wagon?
Certainly not. No, that's private. And it's not my responsibility to allot the wagons to whoever.
Was there anything exceptional about any of the passengers aboard the train?
What do you mean? Like officials? I wouldn't know. Oh, but now that you mention it, yes, there was something. There was a message from Bridlington Station saying that the train had been delayed because of an issue with the passengers. What kind of problem that they didn't say?
That is interesting. You mentioned a problem at Bridlington Station. I should like to visit this station. Could you mark it on the local map?
Of course. It's a suburban railway station. You might take a cab there.
See you later, my good man.
Right. Onwards to the cab. Now we can get to that Bridgeleyton station and ask more questions. Onwards. Now, to search about. Now, warehouse, left luggage. Now where? Oh, you. Angry passenger. Howdy. Howdy, partner.
This is an absolute scandal. It's always the same with these rail companies. No respect for the customer.
Slight Irish accent here. Ah, work clothes. A cheap ticket. Married. And rough skin. I think this is an Irishman.
Please calm down, sir. What is your concern?
Concern? What is my concern? I'll tell you what my concern is. Last night I were on the train as usual with my colleague, heading home. Then along came this ridiculous ticket inspector, who started arguing that our tickets were invalid. He made us get off the train, and he was extremely rude about it.
Were you aboard the train that vanished last night?
Yes, I heard that it disappeared, but I don't care because we would have stopped before then anyway. Our tickets were valid and no doubt about it. And then, to top it all, the ticket inspector pushed everyone else out too, except for a bunch of rich. Well, because their type don't need a ticket.
Can you recall anything more specific about this fortunate group?
Well, yes. They were all foreigners. Spanish-looking toffs with snake eyes.
Goodbye, sir.
Angry passenger. This passenger's hands closed to his last worker. He has no baggage and is alone. He's not traveling nor on vacation with his wife. He takes the train on a daily basis to get to work and back. In this event, he should be accustomed with the railway and be familiar with the station and his regular fellow passengers. I see. Is that Texan? Ah! It's our Mr. Robinson.
Good day to you, sir.
Good day. To whom am I speaking?
My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is...
Are you a representative of this damned railway company? Because I have a complaint.
We are not from the railway company. We are...
Well, in that case, Mr. Shamrock Flomes, please excuse me, but I'm not in the mood for idle chit-chat at the moment.
Australian hat. Oh, he's an Aussie. Didn't expect that. Expensive clothes, of course. Heavy gold ring. Snake boots. Crocodile. Excuse me.
You must be Mr. Robinson, is that correct?
Yes?
I am leading the investigation of the disappearing train. It would help if you could answer my questions.
Ah, well, all right. I have nothing to hide.
Weren't you just saying you weren't in the mood for idle chit-chat? What does me knowing your name change?
I presume it was you who placed the order for the special wagon.
Yes. It was to transport my valuable prototype safely to London. My prototype is a revolutionary device. It is capable of producing electricity. I'm a businessman and an engineer. I had already found several potential customers for my invention, but I was very optimistic about the directors' board who were travelling on the train last night.
Ah. I like to apologize for all the Aussies, though, that I may have insulted when I thought he was, like, Texan. I like to apologize. Anyway. Company director.
You mentioned a director's board. Which company do they own?
The Chilean Barcazes Company. I had made an appointment with them. Now they are lost, along with the train and my prototype.
What do you know about the Barcazes Company?
It's a large South American company. They showed a great deal of interest in my prototype. and they seemed wealthy enough to do business with.
Perhaps they forged the fact that they were businessmen. How else to know what train to do, when to take it, if you were the people that you would be doing business with?
This revolutionary machine of yours, was it very valuable?
For God's sake, sir, it is priceless. It could change the world we live in. And yet, I was selling it for almost nothing. I am a humanitarian, you see. I do not know if I will ever be able to get over this disaster. I cannot believe that it disappeared with that damn train.
I mean, I don't understand why Sherlock would ask that question. Of course it is that he hired a goddamn... he bought an entire car with steel walls and a complex look. What else could be in there other than a puppy? I don't even
Mr.
know.
Robinson, could you please clarify? Were you travelling alongside your prototype?
Yes, I was. But I had to step off the train. And all because of this stupid station master.
I received a telegram declaring that an important person, a Mr. Bromsby, wished to see you in the waiting room. I merely informed you of this.
Mr. Bromsby is a wealthy gentleman. His interest in my invention was truly unexpected. So yes, of course, I agreed to see him. Unfortunately, he wasn't there. I thought perhaps he might have been delayed, so I chose to wait a while. But despite my requests, the train left the station without me. Absolutely unacceptable.
The timetable is strict. We cannot wait any longer. The regulations require the train to be on time.
You are an idiot. You will pay for it. I will sue you.
The ticket inspector forced all the passengers from the train except for the directors of the Barcazes Chilean Company.
The guy said they were the Spanish type. So I don't... Train vanishes people, Chileans... Chooses train... Can I... Can I... Would you... Get... No. Train's not a train, was just a coincidence. The train conductor overlooked them. Trains were left. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Alright, let's talk to this train. Talk to the train. Which station master?
Good day to you, gentlemen. How may I help you?
Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I am investigating the unfortunate disappearance of last night's train.
I see. I'm Station Master Bertram, but my supervisor has not informed me about this. I do not know if...
Do not worry. I have only a few questions.
Young age, that's what I guessed. I mean, see. Clean clothes. He's a fresh-faced.
Station Master Everett from Evesham told us that you reported a problem with some passengers last night.
Indeed. This train is a regular line for those who work at Nottingham. But yesterday, everyone was asked to get off the train here at my station. I've no idea why, and it delayed the train. But the worst of it is that now I have to deal with two furious passengers who are complaining about the company's service. They stayed here the whole night, but people do not usually pay much attention to the regulations, you see. There are very strict and clear rules. Paragraph 234 of Article 2G-43 states that in the event of a complaint, you must...
Yes, thank you. I understand. Apart from the passengers disembarking, did you notice anything else that was unusual last night?
I did, and I mentioned it in my report to our higher management on the matter.
What was it?
Sorry, but I can't tell you. The station master's reports are confidential.
Confidential, you say? How long have you been working here?
I have worked here long enough to be quite capable of managing a railway station.
Let me speak frankly, Mr. Bertram. Your age and your lack of confidence in your position are quite apparent. You cannot deny that you have only recently completed your studies.
I was at the top of my class.
Listen here, young man. I am aware that you wish to protect yourself behind all these regulations, but I represent the law.
And you are obstructing the investigation of an important case. I would suggest that you cooperate with Mr. Holmes. Think of your career.
Ah, that is... Well, I'll tell you everything. First of all, I scolded the ticket inspector, for it was he who asked the passengers to leave the train. It was not his right to do so. He was very rude. And then, later on, I received a most peculiar telegram from my colleague at Chesterfield Station, the next stop along the line.
What did the telegram say?
Well, that was the peculiar thing. It was almost unreadable. It was full of errors and awfully vague. It was hard to understand if the train had correctly passed that station or not. You can read it for yourself.
We ought to visit Chesterfield Station. We need to confirm if the station master saw the train or not.
Chesterfield, Train Lena number 324, right? 30 departed I-35. Holy moly, he was not kidding. Ooh. Aha.
The insurance policy for Robinson's machine. A significant sum.
Sure is organized by Thomas L. Robinson for his prototype called the Autonomous Electricity Generator. This policy partially covers the loss of the prototype up to 50% of its value. He gave us conflicting information. First was that he said he was selling it for dirt cheap. But he also said he was looking at people who were willing to pay high prices for it, along with looking for people who looked like they could do business. So either he was selling it for a rich person's low price of about 3 million, or he's lying. Interesting. Oh, I missed the last part. £15,000. Holy moly. So that's like, so it's worth 30,000. I don't know the calculations for it.
A telegraph.
It's the calculations in today's money, but that must be a tidy sum. That at least gives Mr. Robinson motive. But I don't believe it would be him. He could sell it for double the price. Can I get to that man? The warehouse. Nothing interesting. Excuse me, sir. Okay. I mean, this is a suburban area, so I guess he wasn't pertinent. I guess... Where was the station? Wait, right, documents. Yes, no, I understand. Chesterfield, that's where I'm heading to. Onwards. So we're going from back front to back. Now. Whoa. Alright, I'm gonna place my bet and say that either the train people, the train workers, took the train and tried to take the prototype for money, because the Ticketmaster forced a bunch of the passengers off. Either that, or the Chilean people were in on it, and the Ticketmaster was one of their workers. But in the end, I don't have enough information, so it's best not to make detailed suggestions. Hello there, sir. What's called alphabet?
I had thought that all station masters knew the Morse code, but apparently not.
A telegraph.
Awfully messy. Actually, now that I think about it, I better check out that thing.
A fishing advertisement.
Okay, nothing of use. Excuse me, Watson. I'd say, please, thank you. Don't mind me, sir. Taking a close look. Awfully messy area. Those are two unfinished things. He looks quite drunk. I could be wrong.
How could he fall asleep at work like this?
Oh, he's asleep.
Excuse me, sir. Wake up. Ah, his breath. He must have swallowed half a distillery.
I knew it.
And that explains the how.
By his sleeping off the alcohol, you mean? Wake up, please, sir.
What? The 18-hour 72 train has arrived?
Good day to you. We are investigating the disappearance of last night's train, and we should like to ask you a few questions.
First, let's take a close look at the man. Red nose. Clean clothes. Married. Alcohol flask. And a fishing line. Interesting.
Were there any passengers who got off that particular train at your station last night?
No, nobody, it seems to me. Although I did not leave my office, so...
No doubt you were very busy.
You don't say. You can't ever get any peace around here. Now you have to send a telegram each time a train arrives and departs.
Station Master Bertram from Bridlington showed me a strange telegram that he received from you last night. It concerned the train, but it was barely comprehensible.
What? He's a fastidious little twerp, that Bertram. I remember everything quite clearly. It was late, and I was tired, but I did my work. So what? There's no need to be so petty.
You were not tired, you were inebriated. Tell me the truth now, or I shall not hesitate to document your state in my report.
My friend means that you will end up by being sacked from your position.
All right. So I was drunk. I don't remember all of yesterday, to be truthful to you. Please don't go harsh on me.
Holmes, this man has consumed a considerable amount of alcohol. He's not entirely helpless yet, but...
It will not be long before he is. Obviously, his testimony cannot be trusted.
Is this Morse code alphabet that's bothering me. He was drunk, so he could have been asleep. And he could have missed the train. He could have just not passed. And somebody could have just came by and did the alphabet. And just made it look like someone was there.
This bin is full of empty bottles.
Thank you for your astute observation.
locked. There is no sense in asking the station master to open it. We shall have to pick the lock.
Oh, that should be easy. Oh yeah, I've done this puzzle. Oh, I just did it in 2 seconds. Bloody hell. Right, in we go. Ha!
Bags were recently dragged here. French wine, a remarkable vintage. These bottles are too expensive for a station master's wage. They were likely taken from the parcels.
Shameful.
But that doesn't mean he's took the train.
Railway post bags.
Anything else here I need to worry about? That was a weird cut.
A handcar wheelbase.
Ah.
Interesting. It appears that elements of the same construction were scattered everywhere.
Why am I looking at the door?
Watson, please tell me, do you believe in magic?
Of course not, Holmes.
Then you are of the opinion that a train cannot simply disappear.
Well, we both know that that is obvious. Why are you asking such peculiar questions?
A little patience, Watson. You will understand my point quite soon. So, are you quite certain that you saw the train at Evesham Station?
Yes, of course. We saw it coming. The headlights. And heard the whistle.
But that is it. We didn't see the train itself.
But... Oh, Holmes, I'm a little confused.
I called it. I called it. I knew it had to be a handwagon. Guy was drunk. Probably wouldn't have noticed this. Again, they're all bottles, but I still don't think he's the mastermind behind all this. Special wagon, spare parts for the handler. I don't think there's anything here that connects us. But anyway, we did at least ask the man. It's probably nothing. Excuse me.
Ah, will I ever get any peace? Ah, will I ever get any peace?
No more questions, I guess. Watson, excuse me. Let's get by. Thank you. Anyways. I think that's everything to be found here. I'm gonna look at Bridgelington again. Take a closer look. Dismantled handcar seems strictly connected to directly connected to a mystery. Reconstruct the handcar. Oh, okay. I didn't realize I had to go out and do that, so I guess I'll have to head back as soon as I do another look around. I'll probably cut it. I'll ask him about, actually, Mr. Robinson, about the sum of money he might get.
According to this document, you have insurance for your prototype.
Oh, thank God. Where did you find it?
Near the telegraph station.
I must have lost it when I tried to send a message, which I was prevented from doing.
I apologise for that, but regulations state that public access to the telegraph is strictly prohibited.
Upon my word, you keep on digging that hole of yours. You have no idea who I am.
I see that you kept your gripsack with you. Why don't you leave it in the luggage room?
I've had other things to think about. I lost my prototype. And this idiot station master just stands here doing nothing to help.
Oh, but...
Well, that won't do at all. Station master, I believe that the regulations state that any passenger luggage should be taken to the luggage room.
I'll do it right away, sir. Sorry, sir.
This Robinson is quite a character. We should learn more about him.
I will not move from here until I receive my refund.
I see, but also, I believe we might get a chance to take a look at what's in his suitcase.
This gripsack belongs to Mr. Robinson.
I think we should open it, Holmes. This is what they call force majeure. I'll keep watch.
Of course.
Again, this should be quite simple. Hey! Business papers.
Look, Watson, a bundle of contracts. Very suspicious. We should study them carefully. An exclusive sales contract.
Regarding the prototype invention implies on its way, but the buyer understands that they won't be purchased. That they are purchasing this device as is and are in agreement with Mr. Thomas
Mr.
L.
Robinson is the seller.
The Emerson Electric Company. Not responsible for any problems that may arise with the prototype after the purchases. Whether or not these issues are known by either party at the time of purchase, the buyer is obligated to make prepayment in the amount of 10% of the prototype price in advance upon signing the contract. The remainder should be transferred in 1 month term. This is an
Yet another exclusive sales contract.
He's shorting them.
Mr. Robinson is the seller.
Hong Kong General Electric. These are all
Yet
exclusive
another
sales
exclusive sales contract.
Again,
Mr. Robinson is the seller.
by the Bracaz-Chilian Company.
Yet another exclusive sales contract. Mr. Robinson is the seller.
These are all exclusives.
Well, it is very clear that this Mr. Robinson received prepayments from various people for his machine.
It was like we were never here.
Railway post bags.
Nothing interesting there, I guess. So the man was short selling his stock. Anyway, it was a wise choice actually for me to come here. Oh, it's disturbingly easy. It's quite spooky then. He was short selling stock. Or at least purchased. Nope. Nothing of use, I guess. I don't have enough information to make a guess. Anyways, back to Chesterfield. What did the fishing line mean? Anyways.
These tools were used quite recently.
Ah.
They're still muddy. We should ask about them.
So be it.
You have quite a number of dirty tools lying around here.
Ah, yes. Well, thank you for reminding me. I should clean them. Although, it might be easier to put them outside. Seems it might start raining soon.
I meant, what were they used for?
Some workers come here and borrowed them from me. They wanted to lift the edge of the railway to one of the stations on the line, so that the water wouldn't come in too close.
Who were these workers?
Well, they didn't seem to be from the company, but they was fine lads. They invited me to share a drink, and whatever it was, it had a kick to it. They wasn't English. No, I don't believe so. But see, they knew just what a man needed to brighten up his dull evening.
So a third party. This confirms I think they knocked him out. So it didn't pass, and so it wasn't his fault. He was just knocked out cold. If the workers were here, it knocked him out with probably some sleeping drugs. They probably could have just worked around the train station without a hindrance. He was lazy enough to not care, gave him a drink, knocked him out, he sent the telegram, but they didn't know how to do Morse code, so they had to use a cheat sheet. Even then, it was very close to almost illegible, so it wasn't written in a drunken hand. Now, let us actually do what we need to be doing. And do this.
I should use the appropriate object here.
Small gear housing.
I should use the appropriate object here.
Uh-huh.
I should use the appropriate object here.
Sure, I know Holmes. That's so. Ah, wooden board.
So, now here we have the fake train that we saw approaching Evesham Station last night.
Doesn't look much like a train to me.
Be patient, Watson, I haven't finished yet. Try using your imagination. Our train requires only a headlight and a steam whistle.
So what next?
We need to attach a headlight and a steam whistle.
All I gotta do is find one. That's why they were at the locomotive areas. Steam light. I'll let you know where this is going, and it's easy to figure out how.
The long pole is now attached. It will allow us to connect the headlight. The headlight is attached. The steam whistle is now connected.
Holmes, what can we do to make the steam whistle work?
Already
It is
ahead of you, Watson.
elementary, my dear Watson. We shall need a fire extinguisher. The fire extinguisher. Now let us see what we have here. First of all, let us pump the pressure inside the extinguisher. The steam whistle is ready to be used. Watson, I do believe that we have created an exact replica of the train that vanished in front of us last night. The criminal mind can be most inventive. I am somewhat in awe.
So such a thing is possible. If someone went to all the trouble of creating this fake train, then it was surely with the intention of stealing the real one.
Ah, Watson, you should not jump to conclusions. In fact, this does not tell us very much at all, except that the train did not evaporate into thin air.
Although you half suspected it.
At any rate, we now need to find where the real train might be hidden. I suggest we use my archives to find a more detailed map of our surroundings.
Well, I hope that justifies our having to load your massive archive suitcase onto the cab. It made us extremely unpopular with our driver.
Now, is the archive with the driver? Still, I called it. What better way to make a train look like it would disappear by simply having a fake one? Search old map.
Now we have two maps. We must combine them properly.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Right about here. Oh, come on. Now, don't be finicky. Right there. Isn't it? Yeah, it goes right there. Oh, wait. No. I think that's our lake. No. That's our lake. So it goes down here. If it doesn't... Yeah! Stop it. Goes... It's... Bloody hell. Hold still. It's like trying to wrangle a cat. If I'm right, it goes right here.
Here it is.
Ha-ha.
There is a side branch to the railway. Its first switch is located between Bridlington and Chesterfield stations. There is one more station to be visited. It is located between Chesterfield and Evesham, and there should be a side railway to the nearby quarry. There is a small section of a railway at the end of Evesham station.
I'm thinking we should go to the one that's closest to the Bridgeton station. Wait, this is the one with the drunk man, right? Yes, alright. So, I'm calling is going to be over here, at the railway switch. They said that they needed tools. So, what is our deduction? A fake train. Pass a handcart. Train never reached Evesham. It disappeared earlier and was faked by somebody using a handcart, and a spare train passed from the Chesterfield station, of course. So, I'm thinking... I don't think it was the station master not sending the report. I think it was a different party, and they didn't know Morse code. Even when drunk, I'm fairly certain you could probably learn Morse code. But here is the place.
The switch is rusted, but it still works.
It wasn't pre-switched? Huh. Onwards we go. Hey. Can we not keep going, I guess?
Mines. This is interesting. It would be quite possible for someone to redirect the train towards the mines.
The mines, indeed.
Here are the mines, Holmes. They appear to be abandoned. This is an administrative panel. See what it says.
Watson, you are a gentleman, and gentlemen tend to carry handkerchiefs. Might I borrow yours?
And where is your own?
I haven't the faintest idea.
Very well. Here it is.
I don't think a handkerchief would work in this situation, but here it goes nothing. Oh, I did it. Okay.
WEA Coal. These mines belong to them.
The WEA Coal Company. I wonder what that abbreviation means.
This mine has completely collapsed, Holmes.
It is curious, but to be truthful, I am not entirely surprised.
It's difficult to follow you, Holmes.
Why is there an empty missing place of track?
Someone removed these screws, most probably to take down the rails. A few feet of the rails have been dismantled.
that's not creepy at all. Anyways, let's check the buildings. Guards.
This is the cabin for the mine's security personnel. This box must be the safe. Let's open it.
Jeez, these are all the same. Why do I hear spooky ghosts? I don't like spooky ghosts, and just like that, it's done. Only a single
The
document.
Mexican company Caracal and the Chilean Barcazas both want to buy the mines. I need more information. Perhaps Mycroft could help.
We inform you that the representatives for the Barcazas group are guaranteed free access from now on. This company is the future owner of the mines. Starting from today, no trespassing rules upheld against any representative of the Carkel Consortium. The contract with sale has been cancelled. Do not provide any explanation. This information is confidential. Let me see. There's a sack. Come on, game. There's got to be something in here I could use. No? Alright. The train isn't here, though. Fine, fine. I guess it wasn't in the mines. It would have made the most sense. Either way, onwards. Who are you?
A funny character. He looks anxious.
And he is not an Englishman.
Newspaper articles on horse racing. Hurdle, steeplechase, and flat racing. He is a true enthusiast, Holmes.
Is there anything else here? Ah,
Betting slips for horse racing. The sums are quite impressive.
It can be an expensive vice. This man had probably used all his savings.
aha, that was everything. Guess I'm going to contact Mycroft.
I asked Mycroft to find out some information on the WEA Coal Company. Here is his reply, and it is an interesting one.
There are two companies, the Chilean Barcazas and the Mexican Carcaral. Both wanted to purchase the WEA coal mines. The Mexican Carcaral Consortium had established an initial deal and prepared all the papers. However, the Chilean Barcaraz group, aided by their influential connection, managed to snatch the concluding deal for the mines. Interesting. Scout stuff.
This scent is
Yes, yes, yes. I know the puzzle. Aha.
a greenish-brown cigar with a strong aroma, a hint of peppermint. Ricardo.
You already know the name of this man? Holmes, you amaze me.
No, Watson, I refer to the cigar. It is a Ricardo Turrent, a Mexican cigar of an excellent quality. Quite an expensive one, too. This ashtray is full of ash and cigar stubs. Apparently, there was a conflict between the Mexicans and the Chileans. A greenish-brown cigar with a strong aroma, a hint of peppermint. These ashes and cigar stubs are similar to the one that we found on the floor. Some of the stubs were recently smoked. There are others that appear fairly old.
That means that the fellow spent several days here. Judging by his clothes, he's hardly a traveller or a tramp.
Well concluded, my dear fellow. A man who smoked the Ricardo brand of Mexican cigar spent several long days at Doncaster Station.
One thing's...
Holmes, look. There's a flooded area over here.
I believe that the flooded area might be worth checking.
So be it. There's the train master. Let us see what else we can find.
Railway post bags. This post bag belongs to the station master.
Cornwall Advocate Agency, Main Road, Bromley. In reply to your last warning letter, I wish to assure you that I shall soon honor all of the latest installments that I needed to pay according to my debts. Edward Doubt. Letter to the wife.
The station master appears to have found himself in some financial trouble.
My darling, I asked you to trust me this time. I shall soon have more than enough money to repay the house mortgage. It's only a matter of days. You may continue living in the house without me since it is your wish. Please know that I still care about you and hope that you will forgive me one day, despite all of the harm I have caused you in recent years. Yours, Edward. That's the station master.
Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr. John Watson. We are investigating the case of the vanished train.
Is that so? Well, good day, gentlemen. I am Mr. Duff, the station master of this station. I'll be happy to help you in any way I can, but there's not much that I can tell you about last night.
Melancholy. No watch. Missing button. Ring mark.
It appears that you may be at risk of some flooding along the line here.
You mean that the whole bloody lake is at our feet?
Quite so. But it is strange, because according to my map, there should be a quarry here, and behind that, the lake.
How should I know? I only arrived here a few months ago.
And where did you work before that?
I was working in Nottingham, but I asked for a quieter place, so they transferred me here. Life is cheaper. I can't really complain.
Did any passengers leave or board the train last night?
No. I saw no one as usual. I reported the train's passage by telegraph, just the same as all the other nights.
I observe that you are a gambling man, Mr. Duff. You had hoped that your relocation to this small town might have helped ease your addiction, but it was not to be.
I beg your pardon? Addiction to what?
We found a number of horse racing tickets inside your office. Well, we all have our weaknesses. An expensive obsession, surely, for a station master.
It is none of your business. I occasionally attend the races with my colleagues. And anyway, that's my private life.
There was a gentleman of Mexican origin, I believe, in the waiting room. Did you notice him?
What? A Mexican? Here in the back of beyond? Are you quite sure about that?
Goodbye, sir. It is obvious that we cannot inspect the quarry. Instead, we can check the beach area around the flooded lake. This railway branch should lead to the quarry. Let us take a look. The switch is rusted, but it still works.
I don't think it could lead to the quarry.
The rail is rusted and looks old, but the railway is still usable. The rail is rusted and looks old, but the railway is...
Just like that, it ends where the quarry should be.
The railway ends here. That is strange.
Looks like it would have kept on going, but I guess because of the fact that the area flooded, they kind of flooded the train here. Could be sunk. Agreed. It couldn't have been sunk. That would have been a waste of money. That's simple. Anyways, to Evesham.
Here we are at the beach that is located near the quarry and Doncaster station. It doesn't look like a very good place to rest. These traces were made by a carriage. Look. The vehicle would have been heavy, as these tracks are quite deep. Nothing interesting here. Nothing interesting here. The distance between the tracks is about 6 feet 7 inches. The vehicle pressed this stone into the ground. It would have been quite heavy. These traces are relatively fresh and were made by a large truck loaded with materials.
Looks like someone's living here. Or not.
An abandoned gypsy caravan. This place was abandoned fairly recently. Observing the coastline and the moored boats, we are able to see that the lake's water level dropped. The lake has flooded the quarry. The dam was probably breached. A label with the name Las Zarpas.
Ha. Huh.
This is an unusual kind of paper, stiff and dry. It was used for a specific purpose. Let us look inside. Sawdust. I am almost certain it is a... Watson, could you assist, please? Do you have your pistol? Good. Fire at this package.
It's plastic explosives. Aim. You called it. Heavy explosives.
Dynamite.
Very dynamite, I guess you could call it. Aha. Search the archives. Huh?
The distance between the tracks is about 4 feet 8 inches. There is a wooden beam lying on the rails. A lightly loaded vehicle came this way. A small vehicle with wooden beams went down this way.
Aha. But Las Zepa's barges are leaders in the heavy goods transportation. It belongs to the Mexican Petroleum Car Corral, who covers shipping, electricity services, and mining.
Here it is.
Ah.
This ashtray... Watson, it seems that both South American companies were involved in the purchase of the mine.
Finally, got somewhere.
Yes, Watson. We should certainly speak with him.
And now he's appeared right in front of me. Hi there, finally, I got to you. I was soft locked for a second.
Please, sir, we would ask you not to leave. We have some questions.
Are you the police?
No, we are employed by the railway company. We are collecting witness statements about the train that disappeared last night.
Lo siento, I'm in a hurry.
Really? It seemed that you were waiting here for someone. Could you tell us if you were at the station last night?
No, I just arrived from South America.
A formidable journey, no doubt. Which country are you from?
De Chile.
Chile? But you are Mexican.
No, you are wrong. Why would you think I'm Mexican?
Because of your cigars.
Sí, cigarrillos. So what?
Those cigars are the Ricardo brand, from Mexico. It is quite impossible to find them anywhere but there.
Pero not your business.
I don't suppose that you are on vacation. What business brought you here?
I was to meet my fellow compañeros, who were due to arrive yesterday. They were on that damn train. I will stay here and hope that the authorities find them, or their bodies. It's now my responsibility to repatriate them.
Who authorized you to do that?
The company I work for.
Could you tell me the name of the company?
It's not your concern.
And what is your name?
Enough questions. Buenas tardes.
Not a very friendly man, and he is lying. He said that he just arrived, but we know that he has been here for several days.
Now can I go to Evesham? And go to that side rail? Now I can talk to him about that external thing.
The entire train has disappeared. It's a disaster.
Traces. Let's take a closer look. The vehicle would have been heavy, as these tracks are quite deep. The distance between the tracks is about 6 feet 7 inches. These traces are relatively fresh and were made by a large truck loaded with materials. The traces found at the disassembled shed near Evesham and at the lake were from the same vehicle. This road should lead to the town of Evesham.
Now I can talk to the station master. Wait.
There was a building here not so long ago.
But I don't understand, Holmes. Why would anyone destroy the shed in such a manner?
It was disassembled in great haste. It is most odd. It appears that there was a small warehouse near your station and that it was disassembled. Why is that?
It was burgled overnight about 2 weeks ago. The police have already started their investigation, but I doubt that they'll find anything.
What was inside the warehouse?
Nothing of value. A few 100 feet of standby rails and some spare railway parts. But it wouldn't be easy to steal all of that. Why would anyone want to?
See you later, my good man.
There we go. So I was missing anything. They had to have. The mine was collapsed. They couldn't have just sealed them off. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. So, here are the facts. The train was obviously not at the station. We believed it was there, and it mysteriously disappeared. It was obviously a handcar. That is the fact. The Mexicans were angry because of the fact that they purchased the coal mines, even though they had the contract. Robinson's a victim. Even though he possibly planned fraud, he could not. He wouldn't have gained much. The Chileans were the only ones left on the train. All the other passengers were moved, possibly paid by the Mexicans. Chesterfield it passed Chesterfield. There was a railway to the quarry. It had to be sunk since they had access to the barges, and it could be sunk with the railway going towards it. Then they could have just removed it and acted like nothing happened. It was sabotaged towards the mines were collapsed, so that way they wouldn't be accessible, or at least it was concealed. No, wait, no, I said sabotage. Yeah, dynamite, so that way they didn't really have access. The Miss Doncaster. It never passed through Doncaster, so it had to be a false report. So yeah, the guy was probably bred. He was vanished. So it had to be the Mexicans. Because it couldn't have been Robinson, because he wouldn't have gained anything from it. The Chileans were on the left. Yeah, it all makes sense. It had to be the Mexicans, but I won't let Mycroft give the fucking kid the chance to resolve the conflict, but... blind justices. Here goes.
Then the case is solved, Holmes. What do you intend to do?
Well, I shall require assistance for the arrests. there were accomplices.
Ah, but I know that look. You have your own ideas. What are they, Holmes?
On the one hand, we have Mycroft and his tedious political games. He will locate the guilty parties without any trouble. But it will be a long and drawn-out process, and possibly with some compromise that will be to Mycroft's benefit. Our other option is the local constabulary, and advice from our friend Lestrade. The problem we have there is that the authorities seem to be incapable of acting quietly. They rely on brute force. It could result in an international scandal. All the same, I think that I prefer the forces methods. It would be better to resolve the case quickly and efficiently, without any talk of politics.
Let us go home, then. I'd like to begin writing a draft of this story.
No, I did not say that we had finished here yet.
Well, all right. What did I miss?
Watson, we know that the Barkazas Company directors were drowned in the flooded quarry, along with the train and Robinson's prototype. But we still need to corner the guilty party.
But how do you intend to prove... Oh, no. Please don't tell me we have to dive into the lake.
Huh. You may rest assured that I have a far better idea. We have only to use our corrupt Doncaster station master as bait. He will unwittingly trap our Mexican friend.
Of course, you already had a plan. I shall follow you, Holmes.
Well, the case is solved, and we shall be heading home. May we have 2 tickets to London, please?
Right away. Wait a minute. You've solved the case?
In a manner of speaking, can you believe that the rescue service miraculously saved one of the Chileans who were on board the train? The police have ordered his immediate escort to London on the next train.
He pulled through, then? He's alive?
Yes, by extreme good fortune. His condition is quite serious, and the method of transportation has its risk, but he will be held securely by the doctor and police officers. The gentleman carries some vital information on this case. I am sure of it.
Ah, really?
Your station will be famous, Mr. Duff. The journalists will be here before you know it. Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Aha!
Gentlemen, you are under arrest.
Caramba! You traitor! You double-crossed me!
Quick on the draw.
Good shot, Watson. I always knew you were a talented marksman.
I didn't want another life lost in this case, Holmes.
Oh my God! I thought I was a dead man.
You shouldn't be so glad about it. You'll be up before the judge.
Your testimony will be of great importance to the investigation. I would remind you that your cooperation will be the best way to ease your sentence. By the way, Watson, would you be so kind as to give me some shooting lessons later on?
Yes, but not in our sitting room, and not with you wearing a blindfold.
It was a carefully planned murder. The Mexicans killed the Chileans and sank the train to hide their crime. The dam breached was played to their advantage. They used their own barges to keep the train on the run for a few seconds and then sank it in the flooded quarry. The railway tracks were removed to hide the crime, and the Mexicans' inhumanity towards the Chileans is... Inhumanity towards the Chileans cost many lives, so the decision was made to act quickly. Lestrade would be informed. Clues found, 23. Out of 23. And it's right. Hey! I'm happy with this decision. The neutral. How many people have solved the same way? Hey, 70%. But they decided to let Mycroft do the decision making. I'd rather not.
Holmes, what happened?
I feel deathly.
And you look it. Let me examine you. Please don't tell me that you've returned to your old habits. The pupil is dilated. The temperature appears to be normal. I need to concentrate and count the heartbeats. I need to concentrate and count the heartbeats.
1.
A weak pulse, around 50 beats per minute. But you're dying, Holmes. Your pulse rate is dropping. We need to get you to the hospital immediately.
The antidote. Give it to me.
The antidote? You mean that you're poisoned?
Now. Please.
Here, drink it all. Don't tell me that you did this to yourself.
Hemlock and datura. I was compelled to.
Holmes, imagine if I'd not returned home when I did. What might have happened?
I knew that you would.
Mr. Holmes, Inspector Lestrade is here to see you.
Mr. Holmes is unable to see anyone at the moment. He is unwell.
Good day, Inspector.
Ah, Mr. Holmes, I'm glad to find you here. I need your help. This is a strange one. We have brought in 2 young bankers from the city, sons of lords, members of the Chamber, and so on and so forth. They were found stranded in a rowing boat that was drifting on the Thames.
A romantic escapade with an unhappy ending, Lestrade.
What? Well, yes, they were both in the bath, but... what?
As I said,
And they were tied together.
you are lacking in imagination, Inspector.
Well, no, I'm not. Anyway, there was a banner flapping about in the boat with the RMS Oceanic printed on it and signed by the Merry Men.
The Oceanic. Isn't that the largest steamer ever built?
Yes. And these 2 young banker chaps are sons of the owners of the White Star Line, the company that built it. There are rumours of corruption.
I'm not interested in politics, Lestrade.
I'll keep it then. Here's another one that's a bit more complex and maybe to your liking. It's a murder, but we're unable to find any weapon. We haven't touched anything. It's at the Roman Baths in Strand Lane.
A murder, a vanishing weapon, the Roman baths. That's for us. Watson, fetch your hat.
And Holmes just stood up, like straight up like an arrow. Anyways, that's the ending of our case of the Riddle on the Rails, and the starting of our next one, the Bloodbath case. I will see you all in the next one. And that's about it. I'll see you all in our next case. This is Wolf, signing off.